Oh, I want baby girl.
Don't baby girl me. How many of your groupies you call baby girl? Is Tisha a baby girl? Is Amanda a baby girl too? And who the hell is Bonquisha? Is that even a name?
Man, I can't
Good morning, everybody. What is going on, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to Sharane's World, everybody. We are right here on YouTube. Yes, welcome to Sharane's World, everybody. Good morning. It is Saturday. So let's welcome all my victims, all my survivors, all my thrivers, or anybody that's out there that just want to educate yourself. And you already know. Let's welcome all our narcissistic men and women up out here in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, because it's real up out here. It's early morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Good morning. I know you guys are probably just coming in from the clubs, the bars, the things, or just maybe you're just waking up. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, the whole goal is to get the awareness. Welcome to Sharane World. Let's go. We're about to get into this. Let's go. Welcome to Sharane's World, everybody. Welcome to Sharane's World. As you know, I'm a peer mentor survivor for domestic violence and narcissistic abuse relationships, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I spread awareness for men and women right here locally in Binghamton. Okay? So listen, it's Saturday morning. I know the narcissist is up. They lurking. They trying to get that new supply. Whatever they doing, they're trying to make sure that they weekend is taken care of, ladies and gentlemen, no matter who they are. All right? Listen, I know it's early in the morning. It's early in the morning, so you guys are probably still sleeping or whatever you're doing. You're gonna run across this video. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys were able to tune in to my radio show. That was Friday yesterday at 6 p.m. on the WBZY 99.5. If you did tune in, please hit the like button or whatever the case may be, or just let me know you did tune in. If you want to check out my live radio show that I did on Friday, or any other live radio show I did from the 3rd of July. You can check it out on my Patreon. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, go check out my Patreon. All right, you have to subscribe to my Patreon, become a member. Okay, and when you join as a member, you can see extra stuff like basically the shows that I do on the radio will be posted up there. Okay, plus I have some good other things that's getting worked on in the cut that I'm not going to tell you guys too much about until it's all done. But I do have something else working in the cut for Sharane's World YouTube. Okay, so just stay tuned for that. But ladies and gentlemen, if you check out that Patreon, you will get more access to things. You'll probably be able to see me go live from the studio, things like that. So if you support my awareness, please go check out my Patreon, become a member, and what you understand, okay? That's the whole goal, okay? Also, ladies and gentlemen, okay, if you was on the WBDY 99.5 radio station yesterday at 6 p.m. listening to my show, remember I said you could call in as well, ladies and gentlemen. So don't forget that you can always call in. Another thing, okay? I know. We spoke about narcissistic abuse yesterday. We spoke about narcissistic personality. We dug into that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. We spoke about my situation just a little bit, just gave a little insight. We spoke. Okay. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, in Binghamton. I know it's early, but get the awareness. It's never too late. It's never no time. It's always a time to come up here to put out awareness. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in Binghamton or the surrounding areas, please make sure that you are safe, that you are able to get access to these advocates, these licensed counselors, and everything that's out here. Please use the resources, okay? Because they're here, and men, they are here. There's resources out in Binghamton as well for you. So please use them. Okay? Because it's not worth to be sitting there getting beat on by no female. Okay? So if you are getting your hands, if a female is putting their hands on you, please, please nip that in the butt. You don't have to nip that in the butt by you putting your hands back or whatever. You just remove yourself from that situation. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? Or let's say that you're single and you're going out there and you're mingling and you meet a female or a male and they just start actively moving weird. Use that as a red flag. When you bump into a narcissist, the first thing a narcissist is going to do, but you have to pay attention because sometimes it may not be a narcissist, so definitely pay attention. What a narcissist like to do is they'll love bomb you, very smooth. A narcissist will look like they have it all together, like they have everything together. They they will definitely swindle you. They will love bomb you from the very beginning, tell you about all these dreams and stories and everything like that. They'll tell you how their family don't care about them. They have you thinking that they are in this most vulnerable situation that you're the only person that they have and that's it. But in the cut, they have multiple supplies that they are telling the same thing to. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Luckily, for my situation, my narcissistic ex, like I keep telling you guys, he wanted to get married. We were engaged. I had a ring, and that ring was a sentimental ring because it was his mom's ring. Rest in peace to her. She had passed away. So he had proposed with that ring, or whatever the case may be, ladies and gentlemen. So listen, these narcissists would do all those things. But one thing about my narcissistic ex, and like I said, everybody's situation is different. And I spoke about this before in previous videos, is that he sat there and told me every single thing about every single thing due to the fact that he didn't want me to leave. He didn't want me to go. He expected me to still sit around and continue the clown show that he's doing, knowing that I'm not that type of person. I cannot deal with somebody that's dealing with other people. That's not a relationship. If that's just not okay. So don't come to a person saying this is what you want in a relationship, and the person is like, yeah, this is da da da, and then down the road, it's a whole different story because honestly, that's not what you wanted. And then for the narcissist to say, well, how can I come to the woman that I love and tell her that I'm out here cheating and doing all these things and then crying at the same time? Do you know, like in a situation like that as a victim, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna feel sorry. But after a while, my third eye was open because it was the same repeated thing. Like, you're not waiting on me to leave town to start over. You're not waiting on me to do all that stuff. No, because at the end of the day, the narcissist is going to continue to do the same things from a different town. And they're still going to have access to the same supplies up out here in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. So, yes, this is why I'm so happy I broke that cycle. I just saw that it was a clown show. It was going around and around and around. And when was it going to stop? You have multiple supplies in the cut. They all have a role. Imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. And this goes for all narcissistic men and all narcissistic females out there. Okay? As a supply, they all have a role. And in that role, each supply is funding that narcissist lifestyle. So if you're sitting there trying to figure out a narcissist, they may not have no job, or of course, they're in the workplace and stuff. But I'm speaking from experience. A narcissist may not have a job, or they can, okay. But if they don't have a job, and you're trying to figure out where they're getting all this new stuff from, because they don't have a job, and it's expensive. What do you think? A, street pharmacist. B, the supplies. The supplies. Because if you're not supplying it, where they're getting it from if they're not working. And even if they are working and they didn't go buy that, they have multiple supplies in the cut that will buy it. And then they will lie and they will tell you that it was their homeboy, it was their brother. Like, perfect example, my narcissist actually used his brother or whoever he can use. Okay. He made it his business not to say it was one of those supplies. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay focused out there. If you're living with a narcissist, okay, and you work, and you work hours and you come home and you're noticing things are disappearing or rearranged or moved or whatever. I'm telling you right now, 9 times out of 10, that narcissist had somebody there and they made it seem like they're the only ones that live there or whatever the case may be. They try to hide all female activity so they don't look crazy. So this is why you guys have to stay focused. It gets real, especially when you're living with a narcissist and when they have DV tendencies. Okay? So listen, stay focused because when you approach these narcissists, they turn around with domestic violence tendencies. They will do harm. So please be careful out there in the streets, especially in Binghamton and the surrounding areas. Okay, like I said, I'm a peer mentor survivor for domestic violence and narcissistic abuse for Binghamton and the surrounding areas, but I also spread awareness nationwide for everyone else that's nationwide as well. But my boots is on the ground for everyone that's in, you know, the town that I reside in, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, listen, if you see something, say something. This is what I said on the radio yesterday. If you see something, say something. You don't have to step in, but you could definitely say something. You could pick up that phone. You could make an anonymous tip. You could make that call. Listen, this man is beating on this lady, or this lady is beating on this man. You can make those calls because it's happening out there. Here's another thing that I gotta say. These judges and lawyers need to understand what's going on out here in the streets when it comes to domestic violence and a narcissistic abuse relationship. Because narcissistic abuse is domestic violence, okay? And also, these domestic violence people are skating through them doors and they're skating right back through them doors. And then they're going to another person and they're doing the same activity to that person. And then they're going to another person and they're doing the same shit show activities to that person. So listen, if you want to know who you're dating or whatever, please do your research on them. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody has a past, okay? Everybody has a past, but it is all how you come up out those situations in these streets. So everybody has a past. Somebody's been through domestic violence, like me. You know, I've been through it, but I'm not coming out here toxic or being nasty or being unhealed and putting that bad juju negative energy onto the next person. That's not what I'm doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been through these situations and you're coming back out and you're being toxic, nasty, evil, all of that, you're not healed. Okay? You're just not healed. So please educate yourself on what you're going through. Get the counseling that you need. There's nothing wrong with going to counseling. Don't listen to what other people got to say. You can go sit down and speak to somebody else about how you're feeling and what you're going through. I think everybody may need a counselor, whether it's domestic violence or not. I, come on, look at the world we're living in. Okay, so listen, educate yourself. Figure out what's going on. Know that you've been dealing with a lot of toxic relationships. Toxic. Okay? It doesn't matter. Let's say you've been dealing with, you done ran across people and it was just toxic. They may not have been abusive, narcissistic, but they was toxic. They wasn't for you. Okay? Listen, recognize the red flags. Break that cycle. That is the goal. And when you don't break that cycle, that's when you're going to keep going in the same clown circus show. Okay? Another thing what goes on in Broome County. Ladies and gentlemen, please protect yourself because when you have children, you have to protect your children. Because when you're allowing this domestic and narcissistic things go on and go wrong without the protection of your children, it's going to make things very complicated and bad. Kids are going to start getting taken away and things like that, especially when you are feeding into the narcissist and you're feeding into the mess and you're being domestical and you're being nasty and you're being crazy up out here in the streets. Your children can get taken away due to both activities that's going wrong and going on out here in the streets. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you are a victim of any of this, please don't feed into these domestic and these narcissistic people actions or reactions or smear campaigns or whatever they got to say to you. Let me tell you how you feed into it. You don't say nothing. You move with your head held high. You leave it up to God and you let God handle that situation. Because when God handle that situation, He knows exactly what to do. So if you're not going to get justice criminally or through the courts, don't worry. God see it all. He sees everything, okay? And don't let these domestic and narcissistic people tell you that after a while they believe in God. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: my narcissistic ex always told me he didn't believe in God due to the fact of the issues he had going on and going wrong. Okay. And then down the road is, oh, I believe in God. I believe in God now. No, 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 no. You're only trying to say that those type of things so you could try to come around and swindle back in. It don't work over here. That may work for them other suppliers out there in them streets that are still blind and their third eye still shut, but that don't work over here on Sharane's World. No, it don't work over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay focused. Please pay attention. If you're out there paying car insurance for some men that don't live with you or that's out there with multiple supplies, you're barely in that car, whatever the case may be, please don't do that. If you're registering any cars, please don't do that. If you're buying any clothes, watching any dogs, doing street pharmacist activities with them, whatever it is you're out there doing, driving for them, bashing their cars, popping up at their house because they got multiple supplies going on and going wrong, you're gonna see it all when you're dealing with a narcissist. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And everybody's not a narcissist, okay? But you will see who have them tendencies and them traits because it will come off very strongly after a while, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So listen, y'all make sure y'all stay safe out here in these streets. Y'all stay focused. All right. And y'all see my flyer up there. You know, y'all just make sure y'all stay real safe out here because Binghamton is real. It's real out here, and these people, third eye is not open. But I'm gonna tell you right now, at Sharane World being here, mm-hmm, they third eye definitely gonna be open. Yeah. So welcome to Sharane's World. Good morning, everybody. I know y'all gonna be out in the clubs and them bars Saturday night, but from my understanding, that wildfire smoke coming back again from Canada. So I don't know. Y'all might want to stay safe. Keep your money in your pocket. It's real out here in Binghamton. I know, I know. Y'all need an advocate out here. Y'all definitely need somebody from the street to come on out here and educate you guys, to let you guys know what's going on and going wrong. And that's Sharane's World. We here. I'm out here. So let's go. Welcome to Sharane World, everybody. It's all about peaceful. Listen, as an advocate, a peer mentor survivor, it's all about peaceful. Okay? I can't stand the narcissist. I can't stand somebody that has domestic violence issues, whether male or female. Like I said, New York State, we're going to figure out how to get these people on a registry list. We're going to start with my narcissistic ex, and we're going to start with that domestic violence battle, and everybody else going to follow suit about here in New York State and New York State. Let's go. Welcome to Sharane's World, everybody. And when that happens, if you see that happening, alrighty, by the grace of God, and you see somebody up there that you know, it's crazy work out here. You never know. Because these people are walking amongst us, and they have hidden agendas. Okay? Yeah, stay focused. Messing with these domestic violence and narcissistic people. And I'm going to tell you right now, they got one time to put their hand on you. They got one time to yell at you. They got one time to come at you wrong. One time. It should only take one. And you should be going. No matter who they are. I don't care if you're married, got kids, whatever. That shouldn't operate like that. Y'all should be able to conversate and have a good agreement when it comes to the children if you guys are not going to deal with each other, okay? There should be some type of common good communication when it comes to mom and dad, when you guys can't be together, but you want to be able to raise your children. There should be some type of communication there, okay? But if you can't have that, then you can always get a third party to help you that is not there to see both sides, that is there to see, in the best interest of that child and making sure that that child is able to see their dad and see their mom, okay? If it comes to like that, take it to family court. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, don't stick in no situation like that, okay? Because it ain't healthy. Justice for Romika Me. Shout out to Chicago. And I'm going to let you know this right now. It ain't done. God is working his magic. Do you understand me? He's working his magic. He's working his magic through everybody. Karma, everybody's catching their karma. So if you ever screwed around and thought that you would talk down on Sharane World, I'm gonna let you know right now. Every last one of y'all received y'all karma, and somebody just received their karma recently. And like I tell y'all, I don't like the karma stuff, but God does not like when you start messing with His children, His angels. You know, He doesn't like that. All right. So like I said, when you leave it up to God, God will handle your situation. You don't have to wish bad on somebody. You don't have to want bad on nobody. You don't have to feel mad about it. Just let God handle that situation, all right? And you see how things fall out, all right? I appreciate everybody. Stay safe and welcome to Sharane World right here on YouTube, all right? I'll be back live on the radio show Friday at 6 p.m. Make sure y'all tune in to the WBZY 99.5. But also, if you are a real supporter out there, please check out my Patreon. It is located on my community wall. It is located on all my social medias. Okay, so go check out the Patreon and support. Become a member and support the awareness. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys. Listen, stay focused. Stay 10 steps ahead of these narcissists and these domestic violence people. Thank you. Let's go.
You got a long way to go. Rock with me now.